So when it says polynomial models in the real world, it may not necessarily be in the real world. I need to turn this around or they will never hear me. Okay. And yes, Ryan, it did work. Yep, it worked just fine. And they can actually hear when people ask questions too, if people speak up, but not necessarily if people mumble. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to run through the process of finding equations. Okay, so finding equations that will model certain data sets. Now, if you remember, the first one we actually did was when we had scatter plots and you were looking for the line of fit. And the line of fit, though, did not hit every one of the data points. There are equations in your calculator that are not all just the linear regression equations, but you've got linear, you've got quadratic, you've got cubic, you've got quintic, you've got quartic, you've got all of the different data points that you can get on that. So what we need to do is we need to take a look at data, and then you get to determine which is the most, which is the best looking line that hits the most of the points or all of the points. Okay, so we are going to enter our data points. Some of you may or may not remember how to do that. And so we're going to pretend that you know nothing. Okay, so we're going to go into stat. Okay, so stat is located right here. We're going to stat. Stat is located right here. And we're going to edit our lists. So we go to edit, and you should have L1 at the top and L2 at the top. And so you need to enter 3, 5, 7, and 9 into L1, and -5, 2, 1, 7. So for example, I want to put in 3, and I'll hit enter, and that'll put it right there. And then 5, and then enter, and then 7, and enter, and then 9. Now when you're putting the negatives in, use your arrow key to get to the next list. Yeah.
I have numbers in a highlight.
Okay, so go to the top of the list. If you have numbers in already, go to the top of the list, all the way up to the top, and then push clear and hit enter, and it'll clear your whole list. Okay, and then do the same with the others. So we're putting in our 4 numbers. In order for it to work, the number of numbers in the first has to match the number in the second. So negative is this one down here. It is not the one on the side. So -5, 2, -1, and 7.
-5 to 2.
7. So the lists are right there on the upper right corner of your paper. So you're supposed to enter the lists into L1 and L2. All right, now, just because it's been a while, we want to see what that looks like. I know through most of the things that we've been doing, we've been saying turn off your plots. I need you to turn your plots on. So we need to go to second y equals, where it says stat plots, okay? And you probably have all off because we've been making our point to always turn them off. You want to hit enter because you want to turn the plots on. Plot, just the one plot.
Wait,
just
can
one.
Can you come back on the first page?
Second stat plot, and you should see a screen that looks like this.
Do you want the dot plot?
I didn't understand that.
Push second y equals. Okay, and then there we go. You have to push second and then y equals. Then you have to hit enter on number 1, and it gives choices.
Okay.
Okay, you don't have to change anything. The type would be just the first one, L1, L2. The mark can be anything. I like to use the biggest mark. The dots are hard to see, the X's are hard to see, so I like to use the O's. But you can use whichever mark you want. Okay. Where it says mark.
Oh,
There we go. Okay, so, and then once you have it on, then you just need to go out go back out to your screen, which is just second mode is quit, so it just takes us out of that screen. And I just want you to take a look at what's in there so far. We need to look at a statistical graph. So you do zoom, but not zoom 6. We do zoom stat, which is number 9. Zoom 9, zoom stat. So we hit enter, and you see there's your plotted points.
Did it work? Wait, mine got a line.
You see zoom? Zoom
Like,
9.
mine is like this.
My people
Hit enter. Then do zoom.
Wait, so what is your
9. No, just zoom. Zoom.
You know that thing recent article that
Okay. You didn't turn your pots on yet.
Good.
Second y equals. Second y equals. Enter. Okay. On. Good. And then zoom. No, second. Just zoom 9. Zoom 9. Okay, now if you had a leftover graph in there, like for example, if you still had something in your y equals, and you got like a line along with the dots, go into y equals and make sure there's nothing there. Clear all of the leftover stuff that's in there.
Now, how do you go back?
So just hit y equals.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've got all that stuff. You clear out everything, then zoom 9 and you should see the dots. This is just review from back when we were doing scatter plots. Okay? Now, when we did it before and we wanted to see the regression we wanted to see the regression equation, we wanted to see the line, okay? We went into the stat button, everybody hit the stat button, and we went into the stat, calc, yes. And we did number 4, linear regression.
did it work?
Okay, wait, don't, there's more steps to it this time because we want to see that graph on the thing and we want to see how it fits in. So you push stat and then go to calc, go down to option 4, hit enter. Okay, but don't hit enter again yet because we need to add some things in because we want to put that on there. Did you push?
Yeah, but mine doesn't go over there.
Okay, so yours is going to actually be a little bit easier. Okay, so for this calculator, we need to then choose L1. So that's the second button, and 1 says L1. We want to choose list 1. Yours probably just says list 1 is already picked as L1. Okay? Second and 1.
I didn't understand how can I put the L1? So
Second.
this one right there?
Oh,
And then down at the physical number 1.
Number 1.
Oh.
Okay, then put a comma. Okay?
Where?
Comma is right above the 7.
Yeah.
Okay, because what we need to do is we need to tell it which list to use. So we're going to push second and then 2 for L2. Okay?
Bless you.
And then, okay, then the next part is telling the calculator where to put this equation. So in order to do that, this is a little bit of a weird step, but the directions are all there. You push the vars button, VARS, it's right here, variables, and then you go to YVARS, go over 1. If you look, the directions are right there. And then we want to go to function. You hit enter on function. And Y1 and hit enter. And it should now look like that on your screen.
Wait, what?
I was supposed to remember.
It's
You're
writing
going to
down.
practice it. So comma.
Where is the Y1? Don't worry about that second.
Bars. Oh, no, you don't. Actually, yours is easier.
Don't worry about that.
Oh, wait. No, not yet. Go back. Hold on. Go back.
Oh, it did it.
Okay, L1.
Wait, what are we finding here
Store,
exactly?
That's where you need to put in your bars.
Oh.
the store.
Y bars, yes, and then function, enter, and then Y1, enter. Yeah, so it's where it's gonna store it. So for yours, go to function, and then enter there. And then it's stored there. Okay, now, after you have that, you need to click zoom, and then 9. Again, yes. And nothing, enter. Oh, I forgot, we had to enter
How can I
first,
come
I'm
back?
sorry. I'm sorry, we have to enter first. So we have that, go back to your second quit. You have that all in there, hit enter, and then hit
Mine
zoom.
just says quit.
Mine is like, oh, yeah.
Okay, so you ended up. What?
I'm gonna lie.
There's gonna be. So we need to, I'm gonna do stop entry. I'm gonna use your arrow, and we're going to go here, and I'm going to insert.
We're gonna have star. Yeah, star.
Then you hit enter.
I got
Okay,
homework.
then zoom
I don't
on.
remember.
Okay, now, guys, okay, this is just the part that we did before. So what we need to do then is what we need to do, this one does not hit all of the dots. So instead of going through all of that again, I think we can do a little bit, well, no, I don't want to do a shortcut because you need to learn a long way first. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to then say, okay, well, the linear regression equation didn't work. We need to try the quadratic equation because it didn't touch all of the dots. In order for it to touch all, if the one that we're looking for is the one that will touch all of the dots. So what we need to do then is we need to do stat calc again. Stat,
I have a question.
yes.
It's absolutely obvious that linear.
Right, okay, so, yeah, so I just wanted to show you the process.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so now the stat calc, but instead of linear, we need to try quadratic and see if it's actually a quadratic pattern. So you push enter for quadratic, you choose L1, so that's second
Wait, I
one,
got lost. Can you come back one?
Yeah.
comma, second 2, I'll help you individually in a minute, comma, and then your bars, Y bars, function, 1, enter. Don't forget to do enter. You should see quadrag, and then zoom, and 9. And we see that. And once again, it doesn't really touch. It's got a little curve to it. Doesn't really touch much. I'm going to put them on pause and help around the room a minute. Okay, so the question was asked, will it always be the one, like this one didn't work with the quadratic. When we do the cubic, it's going to work a little better. That would be,
Everything.
one of them will work the best. It doesn't necessarily have to be the last one. Okay, so this could have been a quadratic function, but it doesn't really hit all of them. So we would then do the cubic one, do the same thing again for cubic.
So the answer is cubic.
So wait, no, the answer is something else. I'll show you what the answer is in a minute, but I want to run through this process
Is
for
this
our,
the quadratic?
for our gentlemen to be able to see, and ladies to be able to see at home. Okay,
Is this the quadratic?
the quadratic doesn't work. It also doesn't hit all of them.
Oh, okay. So now
Okay.
we try what?
Now we're going to try the cubic one. Okay, hold on a second. All right, let's show, I had put it on pause. Now I've got back on everybody. We're going to do the cubic one. So people online, hopefully, you know, you can pause it and replay it as many times as you need to. You need to practice. If you do the Calculate 84 app on an iPhone and you don't have this calculator, although you should, that will help you. So we're going to go to stat, one more stat, calc, and we go down to cubic regression. Cubic work, yes, but we still have to do L1, comma, L2, comma, and then bars, Y variables, function that just tells it where it's going to put it, hit enter. and then zoom and 9. The zoom 9, I could do just the number 9, but just to show everybody at home, which is the zoom stat. Since it hits all of the numbers, okay? Since it hits all of them, this is actually the equation that models that data set.
Oh, we're just
Okay, so we found the equation. What we need to do is then write down the answer. And everybody look up, I want to show you what the answer is. If we go back to the main screen, we saw that this is the graph that works. We can go back to the main screen, second, but this actually is part of the answer. What I need to do is you need to write down y equals 0.44x cubed plus negative 7.81x squared plus 44.56x minus 80.19. So you're actually writing down, hold on a second, I have it redone.
44.6.
Write down, and I need to make that a little bigger so we can actually see it.
What was the first part? What's D equal?
It's not.
What?
Yeah, we did it.
Hold on, I just need to put it in a thing that will let me do this part of the geometry. Okay, there we go, I can make this bigger from here.
Wait, so what? So what does D equal? Negative 80 roughly 1/8.
Okay, so why is this like this? Okay, sorry, this is not working the way that it is. So on that calculator, unfortunately, it's not going to show me the way that I want it to. Oh, I see. Okay. This is going to, yeah. This will let me work it out. I just need to be able to zoom so that everybody at home can see and so that you guys can see. For some reason, the last screen is not showing up. Oh, it's down here. There we go. Here it is. This is what I want. What I want is this answer right here, which I can copy, and I can paste that on here. Like I said, it's just being really weird the way that this thing works. Here's the answer that you're looking for. Okay, so on the calculator, you should see 0.44, or round to 0.44, x to the third, minus 7.81 x squared, plus 44.56x, minus 80.9 from the calculator. Here it is. Because this is the one that works. Here's your 0.44. Here's your negative 7.81. Here's your 44.56. Here's your 80.19. This is actually the equation that would model that. So if you had data in real life and you had the calculated values, all you would have to do would be use a calculator to get a model, and then you could use that to predict something that you didn't know yet.
Somebody used to do this by hand.
Okay? Yes, people used to do this by hand, not me. Okay, just saying. However, the graphic calculators did not exist when I was younger. We just didn't quite go to this extent, but it's something that now that can be done. Actually, did we, I believe, yes, from the old school stuff, we theoretically could have. There's just only so many hours in a day. Okay, so people that are away, I hope you're having a great time. We all love you. Come back safe. Hopefully you're watching this video so that you can learn this and practice. Pause it as much as you need to and then do the homework. All right, bless you. Everybody say bye.
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 Bye. Yes. Bye.